So BTC just gave us this ping of 55K. They bled us down and they've given us a massive bounce, a little liquidation hunt there for some of the bulls. So there's a lot happening here with BTC, but things are super choppy. I do have a couple of altcoin setups for you guys that are interesting. I also have some short setups for you guys on some of the altcoins. And most importantly, did the Germans just come and save the bull market? Is this thing still going to be alive? I've got some information here that might tell us some of the selling pressure could be a little bit lower. So Monday, we've got a lot to talk about here. It's definitely exciting out there. Let's get right into this. And remember, if you are enjoying the content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit that bell, do all the right things. And the man's even wearing his goggles today. And he's telling us there's a move coming on Bitcoin. This guy likes the 3-minute candles. So Ray, what's the story? Are we going long or are we going short? What's happening there?
It's just like it's about to make a move. On the 15-minute and on the 3-minute, it's, from my signals, it's looking like we're going to have a strong move. Okay,
keep us posted. Keep us posted. Strong move coming, short or long. We're going to find out now. Bitcoin's at resistance. So if we get a short here, we can take it together. Banter bubbles. Again, no surprises here. We've got some meme coins performing. Bonk 12% up, looking good. But look at WIF, -5. And but all around a nice little move. And Celestia, my favorite token, is coming alive again for us. The biggest shitcoin in history is now basically leading the way here. And I can't even look at this thing at the moment. So we'll deal with that one another day. I see links okay, but all around things are moving, and hasn't been a bad day bar this current little flush out that these guys just gave us now. And lo and behold, it's hit a 786 again. So we have noticed lately, and I was just saying to the Sniper Club guys earlier today, we had a lot of BTC action on 618s in the past couple of months, but lately it feels like the flavor at the moment is 786 pullbacks on BTC. And look what they gave us at these lows here. When was this? When was this? Monday? This was today. Look at these lows. They pinged at 786, 54,400. This is BTC on the 15-minute that I'm watching. Then we had a nice little pump today. Everything turned super bullish, and they came with a big stop hunt here and flushed everybody out. But they pinged again on a 786, 55,000 on the button. So for me, the 786 is the hot one that we need to be watching at the moment. And look, nice little move so far off these lows, but we know what typically happens here with BTC. We tend to get another visit to these areas after these types of moves. So I'm going to be looking for some kind of pullback here. And the best way to play this is if BTC is loving 786s now, let's just look at a very short time frame 786 and see what level that is going to give us. So I'm just going to pull that fib from the low of this little dump to the high, and I'm going to look for the 786. I just want to see where this ties in here for us, and that's bang on 55,100, 55,181. Okay, so key levels that I would be watching now today that you want to keep your eyes on now for this current pullback. If it does drift a little bit lower here, we're looking at 55,750, 55,500, and 55,180. Now, for me, any one of these pockets could be hit here. If BTC is going to stay bullish, it's any one of these pockets here at the moment. And you can see what's happening here. We are at resistance, 56,700. This is actually bear country right now. So we are pinging into a nice little horizontal and nice little resistance zone. So 56,700 is your bear zone at the moment. When we reclaim that, things get a little bit more fun again. But until that happens, we're looking at pullbacks here. So watching these areas here closely, ideally, we just want to see that lower high. I mean, the higher low get printed here for us, and then things should be okay. And current trade situation here, I am only in Sol left. So I was long AVAX earlier today. That is now closed. And I was in a Scalp BTC long, which is now closed at that resistance area. And right now, I've just got a little bit of Sol running now on Prime XBT. You can see we pinged that 618 on Solana. So I'm going to keep you guys posted on this one. Obviously looking for a higher low print here on Sol. We don't want to see this thing melt down all the way and send us straight back to zero. So I'm going to be watching this level closely, 133 on Solana. And okay, so what is going on out there? The fear and greed index, this thing just seems to be broken out to the downside. And we're sitting at 28 now. I mean, this is max fear going on in the markets. And, in the past, just to rehash this, but in the past, these type of numbers often tell us, that people people are very scared. They oversold, and that often marks lows in the market and marks short-term bottoms and things like that. So big thing to watch here. It's very surprising to still see this at 28, but then, partly it's not surprising considering the gains that are happening at the moment. And we've just seen that second flush out now this afternoon that has come and smashed everybody. And some interesting bull news here from Crypto Nobler. He's telling us, well, he's not telling us, but he's basically saying, look, this FTX situation is going to be settled in the near term. Okay, we're talking $16 billion. And for those of you that have been following this type of news, we know that these guys were crypto people. So if you were trading crypto and all these things and you had spot on FTX, you're a crypto man, okay, or a lady. And when you get that type of money, what do you tend to do with it? Well, you're most likely going to pump it back into the crypto ecosystem. You're going to be buying shit coins. You're going to be leverage trading and be doing all those types of things. So just another note here that there is a little bit of liquidity coming into the market to the tune of roughly $16 billion. So that's going to be interesting. And then Peter Brandt made us a beautiful Excel spreadsheet. And he's basically told us here that the current Bitcoin, the correction that we're dealing with is the largest so far in the current bull cycle. So he's done a lot of work here for us. If you want to take a look at his little spreadsheet that he's put together here. But at the bottom, you can see we are now 27% on this current drawdown, which is by far the biggest at the moment. But it's not the worst that we've seen. So 25 to 2017, we saw, what was the peak there? 41%. And 2021, I suppose we'll never forget, 55%. We had a massive drawdown there. So that was quite a deep burn. And that gap was about 30 weeks that period took. So if you want to give him a follow, take a look at what he has to say there. Nice little spreadsheet. Good reading, especially for the guys that like some interesting news. And then Axel's giving us something here. And this is actually quite critical at the moment. He's saying there's mild panic in the market due to small scale sales of Mt. Gox government coins. Okay, but no one is talking about the unrealized losses of the short-term holder whales. Okay, which is currently equal to 218,000 BTC. Now, basically, we know the fear and greed index is at 28. Do these guys have diamond hands? Are they able to hold on to their BTC? Because if these guys now start dumping, then things are going to get proper spicy. If you thought it was spicy before, then we might be seeing BTC back at 40 odd K. So let's hope that these guys have some diamond hands here and we can start churning our way higher. Now we're going to talk about these Germans in a couple of minutes, but I just wanted to highlight this. I mean, we've just had a massive flush out in the market and immediately the leverage traders are straight back. Look at this. We got BTC liquidation map on the daily, and we're at equilibrium again. So the longs and shorts are balanced here, and we've just had a massive flush out. So the bulls are definitely trying here, and they're pulling out their leverage moves as quickly as they can take them away at the moment. And now the news. Let's talk about these Germans. So there's been tons of speculation here with, the amount of selling these guys have to do. And when we last checked, they'd sold something like 16% of their Bitcoin supply. And then there was lots of umming and ahhing. And then there were rumors floating around that they might be doing an OTC deal. So what these guys were doing is they were selling multiple clips at a time off exchanges, and they were just hammering the Bitcoin price, and this has caused tons of drama. But we saw today, Arkham is explaining to us here that the German government sent 2,700 BTC to exchanges, market makers, including Kraken, Cumberland, 139PO, likely deposit for institutional OTC service. Okay, so this OTC situation is underway at the moment, and that could be saving us a lot of sell pressure on the market. That could be saving a lot of dumping. So, this type of flush outs that you've seen here could be way worse if these guys were selling markets at the moment. But if you want to follow Arkham here, you can see they've given you a detailed description. They've linked all these wallets. They've connected everything. They've done their homework. And they are speculating that this is now going to be some OTC stuff. So a little bit of pressure here taken off. Okay, maybe if some retail comes back and we do get a little bit of sentiment shift here in the market, then things could start cruising a little bit higher. So nice little positivity. That is tying in quite nicely with that bullish divergence that I showed you guys yesterday on the daily as well. So I'm going to take you through that chart in a minute. But I see today Gel is also talking about this. So he's indicated the bullish divergence here. We can see the price is going lower. The oscillator at the top there on his screen is pushing higher. And we are potentially looking at a short-term move. Hello. Can I help you, sir? Can I help you?
Maybe scalp short.
Maybe a scalp short. A scalp short. Let's take a look.
66,300.
Okay, hold on. Let's check it out. Oh no, we've already dipped lower here. Okay, so okay, we lost that original opportunity here. This is now a thick little candle here. Okay, let's wait for this reaction. We want to see if we get the 618 here, 55,510. I'm going to be watching. Let's see, 55,510, and then let's look at our 786 a little bit lower down. That's 55,181. We're going to be watching. Okay, Ray, let me know if we get a bounce here off these areas here. That candle's a little bit thick for me to try and short this one now. I'm just worried they're going to push us a little bit higher up there. Okay, let's look at the daily. So here's this bullish divergence that Joel is talking about. I did mention this one on the show yesterday, and you know, things could play out, but until we start breaking key levels here for me, we are still incredibly bearish on BTC. So number one, as you guys know, I spoke about this yesterday, the 200-day moving average, we are sitting well below that area. The last time we were under the 200-day MA, we spent a hell of a long time just chopping around. The altcoins got smashed. You got basically out-traded by the market makers. You got slapped around all day long. So for me, the 200-day moving average, that's 58,750. When we start breaking that region, when we start breaking trend, that type of thing, we can start turning super bullish. But for now, as long as we're under the 200-day MA, we can bounce around, up, down, do all these things, but we can't get super excited until we start blowing that 200-day MA. So as far as this downtrend is concerned, we need to just address that we still have a level lower down that can easily come here and get tapped, and that is my 51,390 level here. This is the 382, and you can see we've got horizontals here. There's a lot of liquidity in this area, and that could be a zone for us that is still on the table here. Again, you know, once we tap this region, then we can look a little bit lower. But, you know, I don't really particularly want to go deeper and darker than this one at this current time. So for me, big deal here, this 200-day MA, until we cleared out of this guy, we've got to remain bearish on the current situation. And let's just pull out this 200-day MA situation. Just a reminder for those of you that didn't see my show, when I spoke about it yesterday, the last time we were under the 200-day MA was 14th of August to about the 16th of October. We spent 63 days chopping around under that 200-day MA, and it was messy. It was even messier for some of the altcoins. And then the previous time that we did that, well, it was even worse. We spent 390 days under the 200-day MA. But these are things we don't need to speak of right now. That's the type of hurt and pain that you're going to tell your grandkids about. And we don't really need to know that one just yet. And then just Crypto Tony, just giving us a little point here, saying if we do get some chop in the market, he's looking at this Wyckoff schematic. Now, yesterday I showed you a different Wyckoff schematic, but he's saying, watch out now. He's also thinking we are in the SOW phase. That is the sign of weakness or show of weakness. And you often tend to get a bounce in that area. And isn't that interesting that it's tying in perfectly to the current sentiment with all the fear at the moment that we might get some kind of bounce here off this region. So for me, big deal here, 200-day MA. We are bearish until we reclaim that thing. And brace yourselves if we don't. Okay, Marty Party bringing on the ETH situations. Now, I've been ETH broing it so hard. And, you know, Marty Party just showing us again that ETH dominance is losing the plot. And this thing is the worst performer out of BTC, Sol, Sui, and BNB on his chart that he has. So basically, I need to un-ETH bro myself urgently. And, you know, there's just the things with ETH just aren't happening. And Rage has now compared ETH to BTC and Sol. And he's saying ETH certainly looks the weakest of the three so far. And many are surprised about this with the ETF news. Well, I'm definitely one of them surprised about it at the moment. But, you know, all hope is not lost for ETH traders. We still are sitting on major support here, 2,860. We spoke about this chart yesterday, and in spite of the move lower last night, in spite of the sell-off we've just had now, ETH is holding strong at the moment, 2,860. So no changes from that perspective with ETH. And then I'm trading a couple of things here at the moment in CoinCatch. So yesterday, I showed you guys I was long and short Peppy. Yesterday, we caught that short at the top. Then we dumped last night. Obviously, that short got closed. We stayed in the Peppy long, so that thing is now active at the moment. Then I was long ETH from lower down as well. And then I picked up an ETH short as a hedge play at the top. Now, what I was trying to explain to you guys yesterday was that this market is so choppy at the moment, and we are under the 200-day MA. We have to remain cautious here. We have to remain bearish. We have to take profits wherever we can, or in fact, hedge your markets or look for shorts and any pumps in these areas. So I've just been playing the strategy at the moment where my longer term buyers say is bullish. And when we do push into nice solid zones, instead of TPing on one or two of the trades, I've opted to then start shorting these areas just as a hedge to see if we can hold this bias and start pushing higher. So that has been my strategy of late, and it seems to be playing out okay. It definitely keeps the account in check. So you can see I'm long ETH here at the moment. My entry is 2,940, and then I shorted ETH at 3,060 as a hedge play there. So we're going to see how that is going to now work out. You can see my entry and my short there on the top. And this is the nice thing about CoinCats. They let you trade in hedge mode there. You can be short and long at the same time. And you can see I'm sitting in a Tao short there at the moment as well, and holding this Pepe long. Now hoping this Pepe is now going to start grinding for me, because that Pepe short has been closed at the moment. So if you want to trade these things with me on CoinCatch, there is a link in the description for you, and there's all sorts of incentives and things they're offering you at the moment. There is a link in the description here for you guys. Just go to the show link at the bottom. And there we are, first on the list here, and $20 offered for the first 20 users today that sign up. Okay, and lots of other things there for you. And there's no KYC on CoinCatch. And while I have the show open, I need you guys to help me answer the question. I need some votes here in the poll. I said to you guys, what do you want more out of me on the show? Is it degen high risk setups? Is it spot setups? Or is it more fundamental? So let me know. You know, ultimately this show, I do the show for you guys. Okay, you guys support me, you watch the show, and I give you the content. I want to give you the content that you want to see. I don't necessarily want to give you the content that I want to see. So I want you guys to get exactly what you want. So please go into the poll there, fill out that poll for me, help you. Help me give you the best experience possible here on the show. So the more you answer these polls for me, I'm going to be running a few, the more I can give you guys exactly what you are looking for. And let's, while we're talking about ETH, so just wanted to look at ETH versus BTC. We saw Marty Party's dominance chart there as well, but this is ETH versus BTC at the moment. And literally, while ETH is sitting on its final big support level on USDT before things really start getting a bit dark there, we can see ETH versus BTC is also sitting on a major support level at the moment. But look, not shooting the lights out, but what we can see here is it's holding support. It's holding our 100-day MA. It's playing around trend. It's playing around the 200-day MA. And we're going to have to see now how this one plays out. But I must say, I'm losing my energy on ETH. The way I'm starting to feel about, the way I eventually felt about Celestia, and I'm sure Ray as well. But I'm starting to get the Celestia feels here, Ray.
Celestia feels. We have no feelings for Celestia.
Bro. I'm getting Celestia feels on this ETH situation. I'm starting to feel like I need to bro myself out of ETH. And then, I mean, now we're talking about layer ones and powerful things. Well, I just wanted to show you Sol. You might have noticed if you were trading Sol, this thing recovers better than anything at the moment. So whenever there's some kind of pullback, Sol tends to get bought up really quickly and holds really well. And there's Coin98 Analytics just giving you some info on what's happening with Sol here. They've generated $26 million, okay, a 42x increase year on year. So Sol is definitely the place to be, obviously with all these meme coins and things like that at the moment. But Sol on the 12-hour just respecting these levels perfectly, and we love it when these charts respect our levels and they listen to us. It means we can trade them more and more. So at the moment, we saw we got a nice pullback last night for Sol. This was our big target zone, 130 to 128. What did they do? Straight into the zone. Nice little bounce here on Solana. And now we are holding 135.5. So for me, as long as we're holding this 135.5, we're fighting around this 200-day MA. We should be okay. So you can see my current trade here on Sol. And I'm looking for this guy to obviously now churn up from here. I want to print that higher low. Don't really want to go much deeper than, say, 135.5. So that takes us somewhere in that region there for me. And once we do get that kind of bounce in that zone, I'm just going to raise my stop a little bit and de-risk the current situation. So let's see how that one is going to play out. But I'm watching this Solana actively here. So Sol traders, 135.5. Watch that zone closely. Lower down again, you've got your big dog to 128. And what are you trading 3-minute candles there, Raymond? Are you still in the short?
That's my Bitcoin short. I'm still in the short.
This man's playing games. Okay, let's look at a couple of setups that I've got here for you guys. Now, I wanted to give you long setups. I want to give you some short setups that you can look forward to if we do get some strength in the market as well. So I just want you guys teed up here for the next 24 hours. We know this market is so volatile at the moment. We get pumps, we get dumps. It's crazy out there. But what doesn't change are good support zones and good resistance zones. And if we play these reaction areas appropriately, then you can get your shorts, then you can get your longs. So the first one I've got for you, I've got Injective here on the 4 hour. So this one is a little bit of a game plan. You need to wait a little bit longer for this one to start taking shape. But look, trading is all about patience as well. You don't want to be randomly jumping into things, and you want to be measured and calculated when you are looking for your setup. So number one, we can see what's going on here with Injective on the 4 hour. We're currently putting pressure on a resistance band. Okay, so you can see what's happening here. It's we've got a trend in the way, and we've got these horizontals. So I do have an Injective setup. It's just not right now. So this is the plan for Injective. Ideally, we want to really have a nice little push up here. I want to clear this horizontal band. I want to break this thing on a retest of support. So we'll no doubt get some kind of pullback if we do get a pump. That for me is going to be a buy zone. So Injective traders, just you can map this chart out on your trading view as well, and you can set your alarms. You can wait for this to happen. Now this could take a day or two to play out for you guys, but sometimes patience is going to win the race. So once we break that trend, I'm looking for an entry here on Injective at about 20.1. Okay, give or take. So that's going to be the retest play. So 20.1 is what I'm really looking at. So we want to break that trend first. We want to say, okay, we are now breaking a trend. We're potentially turning bullish on Injective for short term. And let's look if we can get that retest. So that is the game plan there. So 20.1 for Injective is going to be your entry. Now, the fun part comes when we get to the highs. Now, I'm going to give you a TP zone, but I'm also going to give the bears out there a short zone. So you can see what I'm doing is I'm highlighting major resistance. Okay, you can see this area is a major resistance band for Injective. And we know if this thing pushes up into that zone, most likely it's going to reject or it's going to react in that area. So what else do we have here? We've got a 50-day moving average as well at 24.4. Okay, that also tells us we know the 50-day MA acts as support, the 50-day MA acts as resistance, and especially the first couple of times that we come back and touch that thing. So if we do get a pump now on Injective, I do have a short setup brewing for you guys. So again, this is going to be a little bit of patience. You need to wait for the setup to brew. This could take a couple of days, especially if things do turn bullish, but you want to mark this one on your charts here. And ultimately, what we're looking for is if we do get a little pump here on Injective, Raymond, come on. If we do get a little pump here on Injective, we're looking for that rejection in that region over there, and your stop is going to be above that 50-day MA. So just wait for that candle to come and pop that 50-day MA, and then we're going to get some kind of move there to the downside that we're looking at. So that target there for me, for that short setup, is going to be roughly 24. And anything 24 to 24.4, give or take, is going to be your bear zone. That's going to be your short zone. So there's two setups here for you guys potentially in play. I just want to correct my sound here. I seem to have lost my sound again. And just give me 1 second here. We are cooking again. Injective, we got two setups here at play for you. Wait for the long, wait for the short. Both of these things could tee off nicely for you guys if we get a bit of time. And then same with Tower at the moment. So very similar setup here. And we are currently sitting at a trend resistance. So let's just be patient here. And what we want to do now for Tower is naturally, we want to crack this trend. So the same way I've shown you this Injective setup, we really need to just blow through this area here. And we're going to look for the support band to hold for us. So the minute we got horizontal support in play here, that's going to give us our ticket for that long. And we're going to look for a move into this 50-day moving average here on Tower. So a little bit of patience here. We're looking for an entry. Once we break that trend, we want to retest 234. Give or take 234. So let it pop this trend. Let the bulls do their thing. Let this pullback occur. Then we're going to get a potential entry here on Tower 234, and you're going to look for a stop roughly 2 to 3%, give or take, is what you're going to look for as a potential stop for that zone. So let's see if we do pop that area. There is a potential long setup for you. I see Kush is telling us we're heading down. Let's look at the current BTC situation here. Where are we? And let's see if we're going to get, oh, look at that, Kush. They're sending us to zero at the moment. So what we want to do here is look for a higher low at the moment. The minute we can get that going, that'll be perfect for us. So we want a higher low. Let's see. Let this thing play out at the moment. We've had a nice little buy up here in the time being. Let's see. 55,500, watching that 55,090. So keep your eyes on that. There might be a little bounce. Ray, let us know if we are moving into a potential bounce zone there for us on BTC. Okay, another one for you guys is RUNE. Watching this guy at the moment, so RUNE on the 1 hour, and you can see we've had our first bullish ping here. So on that little pullback, we got a little ping on that 618 and 3.34. So I'm watching this one closely. We do have a potential move coming here on RUNE as well. And if you are trading this at the moment, 3.34 is where it's at for you. So we got to watch that support. Look, perfectly acceptable if they come and try and fill some of this candle. So again, we're looking for a low double bottom or a higher low to print here, and then we're looking for this little play here on RUNE. So 3.34, I'm watching that one closely. Just be patient. If we do print a higher low and we don't ping the 618 a little bit lower down here, if you're looking for a trade, you really want to start reclaiming certain areas. So for me, if we don't ping the 3.34 region over here and they front run it early, your next potential scalp trade is going to be when we reclaim some of these horizontals here. So you just want to let this thing reclaim that zone before you start jumping into it. So for me, RUNE, there's a trade higher up at when we reclaim 3.45 or 3.5, and there's a trade lower down for you, potential bounce here at 3.34. That is what we're going to be watching closely here. Again, these are degen setups here. And I'm looking at the poll here, and I see 49% of you want these degen setups. And 36% of you, the level-headed folk out there, are loving some spot setups. So, guys, okay, I think I generally tend to bring a nice balance of the two here. But, you know, if we could do something like maybe I bring two degen setups every day for you guys. I could probably tee them up on 15 minutes or 1 hour candles, and that you guys can look for. And then, yeah, a couple of my regular things that we could play out. So, okay, guys, so you got the plan here on RUNE. If it is going to bounce 3.34, that is the low you want to see hold there. Other than that, reclaim 3.45, and then let's see how that goes from there. A 70% move from the lows. Let's just confirm that high there. And now DJ David caught this one, and I was so bleak. And you know, when the market started pumping, we all picked our tokens. And DJ Dave went for TON. I went for RUNE. I went for a couple of others. RUNE did something like 14%. TON did 92% from the lows. So he was pretty proud of himself there for that move. Now, we looked for a pullback yesterday, and they gave it to us exactly on this 382. So I just want to show you guys, those of you that don't use fibs, here's another example of a bullish pullback. So this was the high from yesterday. Before we actually look at the current situation, yesterday's fib pull, we were giving a session there on Sniper Club last night. We did a live Zoom session after the show, and we were looking at bullish pullback zones for Notcoin. And one of them was this 382 fib, 0.0136, and perfect ping off this region, also tied in with a 50-day moving average. So that was a nice big support level now for Notcoin. So what, well, we don't really care too much about the past. What we want to see now is where is Notcoin going to take us? So the first thing you want to do is grab your fib from the absolute lows to the new high. So we just need to address this, make sure these things are tied in very nicely, and you want to highlight your horizontal zone, and you want to make sure you have a little bit of confluence in that area. And you can see this little box is really looking interesting now, because we are just above this 50-day moving average as well. And we've got some horizontal tie in here in this region too, looking good over here, and nice little zone for me. So Notcoin, big support here, 0.01436. Okay, so we're looking for, at the moment, for some kind of flag here. Ideally, we get something along these lines and it pops off this region. If we do get a little bit of weakness, I would say your jump out zone, or the bailout zone here, if you are long Notcoin, the bailout region, 0.0143. If we start losing that, we most likely going to start bleeding lower. Then we're going to start taking out 618s. We're going to start taking out 786 fibs, those type of things lower down. So for me, if you are trading Notcoin right now, you're looking for a flag in the current region. Support you can use is anything around about 0.016. Okay, this is a short-term interim support. You can play around some kind of flag in the zone. If we do get more weakness, look out. 0.0143. We want to bounce here. That's the 50-day MA. That's the 382 fib. That could be a nice little long position there for you guys. And, you know, the market's obviously going to have to play the game here for us. But that is where you can start diving in to potential longs or not. Let's just pull that picture out for you guys. So it's going to be something like this. You want to close under that previous low. So you're just going to highlight that low, that wick. So let's just highlight that wick here quickly. 0.01373. And if you get that dip, something along those lines, and then you're looking obviously for your next big push, and your next big push is going to be to 0.020. So that is just a little combination of some horizontals here for us that we're going to be looking at. That sort of thing over there. Okay, so that is the game plan now for Notcoin, showing relative strength here versus these other alts. And I just thought of Celestia when I spoke about relative strength, and that is going 12%. I absolutely can't deal with Celestia at the moment, Ray. Here's another one for you guys. And again, this is fully market dependent now. We are relying on BTC holding these lows. We are reliant on the thing staying relatively bullish. We're looking for a push on BTC into that 200-day MA potentially. And if that is the case, one of the meme coins that could play a little bit of catch up here is FLOKI. So this is specifically for spot traders here. This is not a leverage type of setup. This could take a couple of days to play out. This is FLOKI on the 4 hour, but we need to give this thing, obviously, we need to give this thing room to breathe here. And we don't want to see I'm watching FLOKI. We can actually lower this entry box for you guys. We can just drop that one a little bit now at the moment. And remember, when you're buying these type of setups, you want to buy into weakness into the box, and you want to ladder into your position. You don't necessarily want to ape in the full position, and you don't want to ape in that full position at the top of the box and then they send it lower. So what I tend to do is I ladder into positions on weakness, and the last buy is normally very close to that stop loss to limit your risk as well. And this is obviously now a spot setup here on FLOKI. If things are going to turn you on the market, we should see FLOKI play a little bit of catch up. So my strategy here is a little entry in this box. And again, nothing serious, no major size here. We just want to play around in this box. The minute we start breaking this 4 hour trend, then we can start looking at adding to our position here on FLOKI and growing a decent size position. So right now, these type of setups, when you're sitting on these lows, you're flirting with these areas, you can nibble in these areas. When we start breaking our trends, that is when you can start getting a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more bullish on these situations. So right now, we banking on FLOKI holding the previous lows. That was from yesterday, 000128. Okay, watch that. If we lose that low, then this thing is invalidated. Okay, so we're looking at something along those lines. And if we start losing lows from yesterday, it's telling us the market as a whole not looking good, and we might have to start reassessing where we are. And then I've got another short setup for you guys on Maker at the moment. So I wanted to highlight this area. Now, I mean, we can never say never. Now, we've seen this market pump. We've seen this market dump. We've seen it pump. We've seen it dump. And at the moment, it's like a deer in the headlights, the way these things are moving at the moment. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do get some kind of another pump in the market. And if we do, we actually looked at this one last night on Sniper Club, and this is just too good. And I wanted to highlight this for you guys. This is Maker now on the daily, and I'm looking at a very big resistance zone here for Maker, 2,488 to 2,500. I've got the 50-day moving average, and I've got the 200-day MA, and I've got horizontals, and I've got a trend in the way here for Maker. And that tells me whatever the market gives us, our initial reaction here on Maker in that area will most likely be some kind of rejection or some kind of sell-off in that area. So there's a short setup brewing here for you guys on Maker. It's just a matter of patience. You just want to let this thing push into this region, and that could be then a ticket for you guys to visit the big fib that we are waiting for on Maker, because right now Maker hasn't visited the 618 just yet. We got 1,869 sitting down here for Maker, and we are yet to hit this area. And we like to find a bottom when these things hit these massive zones. So for me, could be a little ride coming down here for Maker. And if we do get that pump, look out for a potential short setup for you guys. And a nice little rejection would be, it would be well received, something along these lines. And then don't forget, when we do ping this area, this is now a major zone for you guys. So if we do get weakness, for example, a little bit earlier than we expected, here's a long position for you guys on Maker. You just need to wait for this to play out a little bit longer. And your long zone is going to be at 1890. So somewhere in that region is going to be a nice little long zone for you. So you've got two options here for Maker at the moment. And remember, I'm covering both sides here because this market has been so choppy for us at the moment. And, if we're only waiting for shorts, we're getting for longs, we're getting these little pumps and then they're dumping, little pumps dumping and things like that. So let's make sure we are covered on both sides here. But these are both high conviction areas for me. Both of these should give you a result. Whether you bearish at the top there or you bullish at the bottom, both of these are result areas here for me that I'm watching. And then another one, ONDO. And this is one of my old favorites. This thing has lost a major rising trend here. So ONDO looking a little bit bearish here at the moment for us. So what I would suggest here, ONDO, we got to be a little bit cautious on the current situation. So ONDO traders, if you're sitting in an ONDO position, you're first going to watch your current support, which is the current low from the dump. So that's 0.8455. Now, interesting to me on the daily, we've cruising above this trend. We were holding this trend super bullish, a big narrative here, and now we've lost this thing. So our best option here at the moment is some kind of push up for ONDO and then some kind of rejection lower down. So I'm looking at this potentially playing out for us here, and this would be so perfect with Bitcoin pushing into that 200-day moving average and rejecting. Remember, a lot of these short setups are going to tee up with BTC being super bullish, banging into that 200-day MA. I just want to show you that one more time. And here's this 200-day MA. So remember, if we get a strong push here, this 200-day moving average is a massive situation. And we're going to see a lot of these alts start pumping, a lot of strength from these alts, especially if BTC just starts grinding up slowly into this region here. We're going to see these alts really start moving. So look out for that type of rejection over there. And a lot of them are going to offer you that type of rejection as well at their resistance zone. So just look out. Simultaneously here, you want to be taking profits on your altcoins if BTC is pinging that 200-day MA. So ONDO, I'm looking at a potential setup here. If we bounce off the zone, you're looking at a move to 1.066 at the moment. So potentially you could look at this. The only issue here is your stop is going to be quite big. Your stop is about 8% at the moment if you're looking for this push up. So the risk reward is not great at the moment for an ONDO long. I would say your best option here is going to be an ONDO short, pump into a nice little trend, pump into 382, pump into horizontals, and then potentially send that one lower. So that will give you a nice reasonable stop as well, probably about 2 to 4%, give or take, when we get to that zone. So mark 1.06 on your charts here on ONDO, 1.066, somewhere in that region. Get an alarm going. I'm actually going to set an alarm right now on TradingView. So my alarm is now in place. So if I'm sitting around here, I'm going to get pinged when it hits the zone. And that's just going to remind us, okay, let's not get euphoric. We are at resistance. Check where BTC is. What is BTC doing? Is BTC at resistance as well? That could potentially tell us that it is time to TP at the very least. Or secondly, obviously, we can look for some shorts in those zones. I see Kush is telling us a bounce coming soon. Kush, can you make up your mind? Are we going down? Are we going up? Let's take a look. Where's BTC here? Okay, we're bouncing off 55,751. Okay, so this was the first area that we were looking at there. And that now, it could be a nice little support marker for you guys. So if you are sitting in scalps at the moment, this is now a nice little base. That's a potential higher low here for us for BTC on the 15 minutes. So watch that area now. 55,673. Watch that area. And you can see this was our previous 618 pool that we had tied in. With some horizontals there. Okay, so nice little first reaction there. And remember, a little bit lower down, we've got 55,510 and we've got 55,181. Both of these are interesting areas here on BTC. Wow, this chart's pretty messy, guys. And let's clean this up for you quickly. We can't work in these conditions with these messy conditions here. Let's clean this thing up. Okay, I want to just highlight these zones for you guys. Okay, so where we are, 55,751, 55,510, and then absolute worst. This is the last bull level here for me. 55,181. Okay, these are your levels here. 15-minute scalpers. That is what you're looking at, and those are probably your better zones that you're going to look to play. Now, here's a big setup that David was looking at yesterday on the Sniper Club Zoom, and we used to trade this thing a ton. And we've seen DYDX pump really nicely off major weekly support. We saw PYR pump really nicely off major weekly support as well. In fact, we saw tons of altcoins do that, and LINA. Okay, this was, as far as I remember, this was Chinese DeFi. And I just thought this thing is so heavily oversold here. If it loses these lows, this thing is going to absolute zero. So, there's a risk-reward play here on LINA for the spot traders. Maybe it's worth having a little look here. And if this market turns bullish, well, this thing should start playing catch-up really quickly. So, LINA, I'm watching this massive support band here. These are weekly candles here. 0.0 428. Okay, if we lose this level, this thing's going to absolute zero. Price discovery to hell. Basically. But right now, this thing is sitting on a nice weekly support level. And if this market's going to recover, if BTC is going to print that double bottom there, if we're going to hold that area, and then I'd expect LINA to start churning a little bit higher. So if you just take a look at this thing on the weekly, I mean, this thing used to be a massive pumper when you needed it to be. Look at these moves here. I mean, we don't even have to look how high that thing has gone, but just looking briefly over the last year and a half, the last 2 years, you can see this thing has given us some moves. And one of these candles that really got my attention, and I think we actually traded this one, we got a 220% pump out of this thing randomly at one point. So LINA, I'm watching this guy. This is a spot play, and you know, you just want to throw something at this thing. You don't want to you don't want to sell the hamster for this guy. But I mean, weekly lows like this, the minute there's some conviction coming out of China and things like that, we could see some moves here. So watching 0.0428. If it loses that, straight to zero for me. And you know, do not pass begin. Do not collect 200. Let's see. Pickle says it's a really old coin, and @enough says _coin is breaking balls. Yeah, not coins is chilling. It's just chilling at the moment. And let's see. Onka says, what about Arbitrum? Absolutely taking a shit. Let's look. Okay, what else we got here, guys? We've got time. Let's do some of your tokens here. Let's look at Arbitrum. Oh, so Arbitrum. A lot of these ETH players. I mean, there was so much. I wouldn't say. Let's call it hopium. Okay, there was tons of hopium around of Arbitrum. Nice little layer 2 potential ETH play, was supposed to be an absolute banger on ETH strength. Now, the fact that ETH is basically, jeez, this thing has shat the bed. Okay, so here's my price prediction for Arbitrum: 0. Ray, look at this, bro. This thing is done. This thing is absolutely done. Okay, Arbitrum has lost all forms of support here. So yeah, I would be super cautious with Arbitrum at the moment. Anything can happen. If this market turns bearish, this thing is going proper low. This thing is going to levels we don't really want to speak of. What I can give you here, Arbitrum, is watch the current weekly low. Okay, watch the previous week's low. That's your only real guide here, 0.5649. Okay, watch that as your major support. If this thing does miraculously start pumping, okay, and start moving higher, you've got a major problem here, 0.78. Okay, that is most likely going to be a rejection zone for me, 0.78 on Arbitrum. So look out there. And William says, at this point, we're selling the goldfish, bro. I'm running out of animals to sell. My children aren't happy with me. They're very upset with me. I see Mia wants some ton. Let's look at ton. I believe, I'm sure I overheard Run talking about ton today as well. On his show. Let's see what we got here. So, I mean, did he cover it? Okay, so look, this thing's a performer. Now, remember, Notcoin is also on the TON network, and TON, if you look at it relative strength, and you compare it to things like Sol, those type of things, and yeah, James, I think we'll sell the kids' toys. They're really going to be pissed with me. And oh, by the way, I got a new goldfish. I thought this thing was going to die. And then we swapped the water, and then it was alive again. It was like a miracle overnight. And I mean, kept the kids happy. And yeah, so Toncoin, what am I looking at? 6.88. Okay, you can see this thing pulled down really nicely. We had a nice bounce. Let's just look at the type of pullback we got. So if we take a look at these lows, we had a massive reaction off the fib. Then we just want to pull a fib from the high to the low. We want to see what it reacted off here. And look at that. It reacted off a 618. So we know TON is really respecting 618s quite nicely here. And that is now our big support marker here. So TON traders, 6.88. This is huge now for you guys. You don't want to lose this. You don't want to lose this level. So ideally, we push on, we crack that trend, and things start climbing, and we can add to that situation. If we do fall over, you're looking for that type of play here on TON. We don't really want to go. We don't want to go. Yeah, we don't want to lose that 6.88. That's not really a place we want to go. Kush says TON memes the next play. Ton memes are the current play. Now, there's multiple ways you can get ton memes. In fact, maybe we must do a session on it. But Sniper Club, we've actually just opened a channel today in Sniper Club specifically for ton memes. So if you want to trade ton memes, we've got a bunch of meme degens in there trading ton memes. They're teaching you how to do it, how to go about it, all these things. And one of the ways you can do it is using 𝗏𝗏 and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 wallet, one of those things. But if you want to find out more about trading ton memes, well, Sniper Club is a place to go. There is a link in the description there for you guys, and they'll cover you. They're doing a massive Zoom session tomorrow night for the members specifically on ton memes. So if you guys are interested, come take a look there at Sniper Club. Come join us there. And the only ton meme that I own at the moment is Resistance Dog, and that thing's been killing it for me. And yeah, hopefully we can now start expanding into some new potential memes on that ton ecosystem. But there's a lot going on there. The degens are back, and yeah, they are kicking it again. So the soul memes, you know, they had their move. And Ray, what's going on here, bro? What's going on? What's going on?
The Bitcoin scalp is printing.
Is it still going down? Oh, that's my soul. Okay, so I'm watching soul at the moment. Okay, we're still looking 55, 510. Okay, we're watching 55, 510. And I think we missed the trick here. I think the short was at 56,700. You can see that resistance band. I think that was the place to short, 56,700. Now we're bleeding lower. Now we're looking for the bounce play. So remember, we're looking for that higher low there. We don't want to lose that low after that dump. So just keep watching there closely. I think we could get some kind of bounce there. What else we got? Let's go whiff. And Ryan says Ondo's going to rip. Look, I hope Ondo's going to rip. And I'm a big fan of Ondo, looking for big things there. Let's see where we are with whiff. I mean, look at this market. It's absolutely brutal. You know, they give you a little bit of hopium, and then they just dump the shit on you and come and punish you for trying to trade. Okay, so at the moment, whiff is now really sending lower. Let's just see what we've got here in terms of fib support and things like that. We're going to see we've got a 786 bang. And okay, so watching 1.6. You don't want to lose that. If you're sitting in a long here on whiff, okay, this is a big area for you. Okay, there's a couple of big areas, but 1.6. Okay, you can see what's happened here. We printed a low earlier, bounced up, bounced again off this low. So 1.6. I would say watch 1.6. You don't really want to lose that. And remember, these are the lows from the dump. Okay, 1.5 is the lows from that big sell-off we had the other day. And we don't want to go deeper in this thing then. Shoo! This thing can go. This thing can go to hell after that. So if I were you, I would watch the current area closely, 1.6. Okay, look for that to hold. If you're sitting in a position, 1.6 is where you are. Lower down, 1.5. You can't lose this 1.5. 1.5, this thing is, it's not going to be pretty. I think this thing could start selling really quickly there. So look out, look out for a dip here, maybe a little fakey in that area there. But you don't really want to close under 1.5. I think that could get pretty messy there. And on whiff, I see Johan says we're going to need life support. Look, guys, this market is brutal. Okay, it's not easy out there. And, they're chopping us up. They're chopping us down. The minute you get a little bit of hopium, you're going well. You start jumping in. What happens? They rinse you out. I mean, I was in an ETH short, in that ETH short I showed you guys earlier. That thing was absolutely printing. Now they pumped it back up. Now who knows what they're going to do with that situation. So remember, watch your key levels. And the play here for me, again, take profit early on a lot of trades. Look at nice resistance zones, take profits. Those that you have a bias for longs, look to maybe hedge those with potential shorts in good areas, like you've seen me do on Pepe yesterday, like I've done on ETH today. And again, you don't need massive positions here. We know, everybody knows this market is very difficult at the moment. And you don't want to be ending yourself taking big positions here, trying to play something that's not there. Remember, Bitcoin under the 200-day MA is not a good vibe. It's not where we want to be. We got to reclaim that. And last time we were under the 200-day MA, they just chopped us and chopped us and chopped us. And it was very difficult trading conditions. So what I can say to you, take profit early every time, whether you're long, whether you're short, and then hedge plays all the time. We don't know where the next move is, but what we do know, good resistance, good support, hedge your moves in those areas, and then you should be okay. Just don't get rinsed. Don't get in a position here where you guys start taking yourselves out. Okay, you've got some areas, you got the levels. Hopefully we bounce here, guys. Good luck out there. I'll be back tomorrow as always. Catch you later.